welcome back to the channel, Celebrity Scandalous. Thank you guys for joining me today. Can you please just let me know if you can hear me? Can you hear me? That's all I have. One question. Can you hear me? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I think you can see me because I can see myself. So I wanted to talk about a couple things with this whole Jay-Z case. We talked about it yesterday, and I gave you some of I've been giving you my legal thoughts and strategies about, how I see some of these things are going. But today there was some new and interesting information that some of the legal analysts dropped. So before we get into that, I'm going to go back over a video I did yesterday about how Jay-Z is, Jay-Z used to be the man. Jay-Z was the man. You wouldn't say ish about him. He had the higher ups on his side, the elites, but it seems like the tide is changing. Okay. So AJ says he or she can hear me. And girl, I ain't trying to be slow, but your name is because it's so little I can't see it. But thank you for letting me know you can hear me. So yeah, I'm gonna play this video that I did yesterday just to kind of go over a background of some of the things that have been happening in the recent weeks as to why I feel like things are gonna go left for Jay-Z. And then I'll get into a little bit more about it in just a second. So let me share this video. And subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the mess. So Beyonce killed it in her Netflix Christmas halftime performance special. She was awesome. She was with Post Malone. She brought out a group of other female country music singers, and she performed with Blue Ivy. It was an awesome performance. So many people were shocked to see her do her little dance with Blue Ivy. It was awesome. But one person who was visibly absent on camera was her husband, Jay-Z. Now, rumor has it, it's being reported that although Jay-Z, he puts on the halftime performance, he's in charge of putting that show together, even though the NFL is standing behind him, with Roger Goodell coming out saying that the NFL is in support of him, even though he is going through this litigation. However, the execs did not want Jay-Z to be seen on camera and wanted him to keep a low profile tonight. So that's why we didn't see Jay-Z. Like, usually we'll see him at some point during the halftime performance, like he'll be in the audience or somewhere, and we'll see a photo of him. But this time we see Beyonce, we see Blue Ivy, but we do not see Jay-Z. They did not want his image or him being there to bring negative light to their performance. Now, everybody is aware of the litigation and we know what's going on, but they kind of wanted him to keep a low profile so that he wasn't so visible. Now, one of the other reasons that Jay-Z, that the NFL, although they're sticking by him, and he was still able to put on this halftime performance, is the fact that recently, if you guys could remember, a few weeks ago when he did a red carpet appearance for Mufasa, in which Beyonce and Blue Ivy have a part in the movie, the Disney movie. Apparently, the ticket sales tanked. They didn't do as well as it was projected. They were projecting that the first week out, the first couple of weeks, they should hit around $60+ million, and apparently they did half of that, something like 35 million. So they're blaming it on a lot of different variables. But one of the things that they're saying is the fact that this scandal surrounding Jay-Z and the allegations kind of muddy things for the premiere. A lot of people felt that it was a bad look, given the allegations that it's against a 13-year-old, and Disney is for children. It's a production company that gears movies for families and children. So, it's rumored that a lot of people feel that he had a huge and a negative impact on the premiere of that film. So, of course, they're not just blaming it solely on Jay-Z, but his name has come up in one of the reasons that the film didn't garner the success that they wanted. So with the NFL watching this very closely, you guys got to remember there's billions of dollars riding on all of these productions and these events and everything. So after Disney didn't do so well for the Carters, And the premier, that the NFL, even though they're standing by him, they're like, you know what? You can put on this, do the production, do the event, but we don't need you to be on camera. So that's what they're saying is Jay-Z, that he had to keep. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear that, and because I know it's kind of low, because I could barely hear it. So I'm just gonna put a wrap on that. So basically, with the whole Netflix special, Jay-Z was asked to keep a low profile. Of course, he was very much so involved, but like in prior Beyonce performances, you could see Jay-Z visible, like at the NFL, at the halftime performances. Jay-Z is always somewhere on camera. I think for the last Super Bowl performance, halftime performance, we eventually saw Jay-Z on the field with Blue Ivy and I forget the other baby's name, but Rumi and Sir, but he was out there. So he's very visible usually. Just like with the Mufasa premiere, Jay-Z was front and center with Beyonce. Now, it's rumored that Beyonce wanted him to be there to support Blue. But now, after the premiere did not do what Disney thought it would do, they were looking at they thought it was going to be at least $60 million for the opening week. It didn't do that. So now, I mean, they're not solely blaming Jay-Z, but of course, they're going to point fingers at anybody. What they're saying is that Jay-Z's appearance at that premiere caused some problems and possibly help, tank some of the sales. So now we see Jay-Z being told, sit your ass down, for Beyonce's Netflix performance. He's also being blamed for Mufasa. They're starting to look at the Carters as being not so great for business, right? Because remember, again, with the European brands that they represent, they're starting to pull out from those sponsorships. We've heard about that. So then just yesterday, now y'all know I talked about this. I get really passionate about the legal stuff because I used to be a litigation secretary. So I've been saying this, that at some point, I don't think that Jay-Z necessarily, again, until we get all of the evidence and everything, I don't believe that Jay-Z is guilty of doing that to the little girl. But I also said, I don't think his hands are not dirty. So yesterday, we went over the fact that, let me share this tab, and it might be too small for you guys to see, but the federal judge, let me go up, let's see. Before we get there. Okay, well, anyway, this is the topic is the federal judge may force Jay-Z to take a DNA test to confirm the alleged son's paternity. So those of you, or many of you should know, or I don't know, because I've talked about it tons of times, is Rymir Satterthwaite, the young man who was claiming that Jay-Z could be his dad. Well, after yesterday's defeat, Jay-Z is facing an uphill battle. Now, yesterday, we're not going to go over. I have another video, and I'm sure tons of people have been going over that. The judge pretty much slammed Jay-Z's attorney and Jay-Z for the way he's been so aggressive in filing his documents, his motions, and the way that he's tried to besmudge Busby's name, going after the attorney versus going or dealing with the facts of the case against Jay-Z. It's like you're actually trying to discredit this lawyer, which, like I said, remember, judges were lawyers as well, so they know the game very well. And so she is essentially saying, you are coming for this lawyer instead of, dealing with the facts of the case, and you're asking us to expedite and all of those things. So I went over all of those things about court filings and stuff like that yesterday. So what we know is that the Judge Annalisa Torres was pissed. You could see in her responses, in her writings, and that she put things in quotes. When judges file documents like that and they call you out, they're pissed with you, because usually they try to keep an objective demeanor, but when they start coming out with stuff like that, because everything was geared towards him, she just really called Jay-Z's attorney out. And what I said is that oftentimes your attorney can sully or muddy your case. If your attorney gets on the judge's bad side, that's bad for you. They're going to be looking at all the technical mistakes you make. They're going to make you go back and refile things if you have errors. I mean, once you piss the judge off, if you're being too aggressive, they have to reset, level set, and let you know, I am the fucking judge, not you. Back up, little soldier. And that's what we saw yesterday. That's what we saw yesterday. So she pretty much came and she let him know, I am the king of the court and you better back up, because Spiro was saying, asking for her to go from 21 days to 1 day, all this stuff, which generally, to be honest, given the holidays, I mean, a lot of the courts are closed for federal holidays and things like that. People are on vacation. So she is essentially saying your crisis, or the fact that you're deeming this to be something that needs to be expedited, is not. There's nobody dying. Nobody's life is in jeopardy right here, right? And when I say life in jeopardy, I mean like literally life and death, not the fact that we're talking about Jay-Z's reputation. But she was really pissed about that. So now, this is an article that came out today. It says a federal judge might force Jay-Z to take a DNA test to prove Rymir Satterthwaite's claim that he is the rap mogul's illegitimate son. On Thursday, Judge Annalisa Torres sided with an Alabama woman who accused Jay-Z and Diddy of assaulting her when she was 13 back in 2000. The judge rebuked Jay-Z and his lawyer Alex Spiro for wasting the court's resources. That's huge. I mean, that's because Spiro probably kept filing all these different motions and inundating the courts, and judges don't like that. Everything they have to literally read these things. I mean, they have clerks of the courts and different people that assist and call things out. But he was probably hammering the judge with all these legal filings, and the judge was like, hold on. So the judge says wasting the court's resources, filing a litany of motions to dismiss the lawsuit against the rapper. Now, let me say this. Had Alex Spiro been more tactful and done things in a different form, a different way, it's possible that the judge may have dismissed this already and or at least dismissed Jay-Z from the case. It's possible. But again, because of the way that he came on so aggressive, I think it really, really has hurt his case thus far. Now, of course, I think the judge is still going to be fair, do what a judge needs to do. But other legal analysts are saying that based on his behavior, the judge is just bucking him and saying, no, I'm not gonna do what you're asking me to do. I'm gonna make you go through the correct court procedures, the correct procedures of court, and you're gonna do this based on the timelines, and we're going to take a step back and we're going to pause. It also says in a 5-page filing on Thursday, Judge Torres chastised Spiro's aggressive legal filings, describing them as combative. No judge likes to see anybody be combative, with inflammatory language and hominem attacks. So basically saying, you're going after the wrong person. You're going after legal counsel. And attorneys are agents of the court as well. So it's like, there's just a level of respect that they want you to have as an attorney. That's their fraternity. And so the judge is not impressed, and or she was upset with his behavior. Another thing I stated is that Spiro should already know the judge's kind of her style and how she rules. That's one of the things that when you have an attorney, even if they've never appeared before that judge before, they will consult with other attorneys. There are other people and other, offices or, people that other attorneys that just talk to that will tell you, oh, this is her reputation. She doesn't like this, or she likes this, or you better not do that. I mean, that's very common within, the legal world, or it's like you are supposed to know the demeanor of that attorney. So his aggressive filings leads me to believe he didn't do his homework, and or his team didn't prep him for how he should appear in her court. And when I say appear in her court, I'm not saying how he should appear before her per se, but how he should file and the legal tone that he should take when he's filing cases that she has to rule in favor of. So it says Jay-Z faces the public spectacle of a career-ending trial if he doesn't settle out of court with his accuser. Now, this right here was an interesting statement to me. Jay-Z faces the public spectacle of a career-ending trial if he doesn't settle out of court with his accuser. This right now, in my opinion, is checkmate. Okay? It is for a couple of reasons. Y'all follow me, listen to me, think about what I'm saying. If he settles, look what happened with Diddy settled. The next thing we know, Diddy was indicted. Now, I think one of the critical mistakes that Diddy made, and his attorney said it before, Agnifilo also stated, I saw him on a show like right after Diddy when he was arrested, he should have settled with Cassie before it even made it to the public, before those legal documents were filed. Because once it gets filed, then it's public record. And then everybody in the office knows, the courts know. So before it even got out of those law firms where they could tell everybody, you sign an NDA, because you sign NDAs when you work in law firms as well. It's like you will not talk about the things that occur, these legal cases. So everybody's talking about NDAs when they talk about celebrities, but you file NDAs on your corporate jobs as well. If you read the fine print, if it's some kind of intellectual properties, they will tell you it will be like a non-disclosure. So that's not something that's a really big deal. So it's pretty common. But Diddy's attorney said that he should have settled before it got to that point. The problem, I think, also is the fact that once it did become public, he settled the very next day, which had 50% of people saying, oh, then you must be guilty. Settling a court case does not mean you're guilty. It might mean a lot of different things. Maybe you don't want it to be in the public, sphere. You just don't want people to know about it. It could mean guilt, or it could just be that you want it to go away, or you really just don't want to spend the money that it takes to actually go to trial and all of those things. So, because court cases can be very expensive. So maybe it was just cheaper to pay her off. But in Diddy's case, what it did was ignite a flame, right? And so after that, it's like people start coming out of the woodworks, and then we see an indictment. So Jay-Z now is facing the same problem. They're saying Jay-Z faces the same spectacle if he doesn't settle. At this point, if he settles, all of this stuff has already been brought out. If he was going to settle, he probably should have settled before we even knew about it. Because once he settles, then there are going to be other people doing the same thing they did to Diddy. And there's probably more than likely going to be something in his past, not this particular case in my opinion, but something that he didn't want to come out, which is going to lead us to the next point, right? So it's almost like, at this point, I feel like it's a lose-lose. The best thing, if I were on his team to advise him, I would say get your PJ and get the hell up out of Dodge for the next some odd years. I really would, because it would be harder for them to serve him. It'd be, all of this stuff. Hopefully your money is somewhere where offshore, in an offshore account, because the way it looks now, everything is starting to take a turn against Jay-Z, and it's like he just doesn't have the manpower to stop it at this point. There are too many people in power, it looks like, that are going against him, especially with this lawsuit now. He probably should have settled before it got here. I mean, we were speculating things, but now it's starting to impact the brand. Now we got people saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be on the red carpet because you're bad for business. Oh, we're going to end the sponsorships we have with you because you're bad for business. And it's just a matter of time. Remember when, I forget the guy's name, the NFL guy, he came out and said that they were going to stand by Jay-Z. And he said that because at the time, he's innocent until proven guilty. But now you got to think about it. Now we got this, at that time, because we had heard about the inconsistencies, most of us were thinking, oh, they're going to just toss it out. I mean, his attorney really had us thinking this case is just going to go away. It's a matter of weeks. I'm asking for a quick dismissal and we're going to be done with it. It didn't happen that way. So anybody, any business is going to say, this is looking bad. Well, the judge is not tossing it out. Why? That's not to say it won't be tossed out, but at this point, the judge has allowed this woman to remain anonymous and she ain't tossed it out. So that's a bad look for the NFL. We got Jay-Z, doing the halftime, the Super Bowl performance. But, guys, we thought that they were going to get rid of this. But they haven't oh, shit. Could this be another Diddy case? You got to think about perception. What is the perception? At this point, we don't know. Oftentimes, they will let you go or disassociate from you if you bring, with the morality clause, because you're bad for business. And that looks like what's starting to happen to Jay-Z. Let me check the comments, see if anybody said anything, because I know I get, hey, Lulu, thank you. My mom, Lulu is here, you guys. Please hit the like button. Let's see. Tony Skittle says, oh, wow. Let's see what Lulu is saying. I may have missed some stuff, you guys. But anyway, everybody is saying hi to everybody. Please hit the like button and thank you. And everybody shout out to Lulu. Thank you for being here. Yes, and fair use. So let me go back to that point. So a couple things. Jay-Z, the judge has not thrown this case out. So now that's a 50-50. I think it's going to eventually get tossed out just because of what we've heard. But at this point, the judge has not said it's going to be tossed out. The woman has been allowed to remain anonymous. So all of these things are stacking up against Jay-Z. He didn't get the slam dunk win. I know most of us thought, just based on what they were saying, like, oh, they're going to be done with it. Oh, it's going to be over because the Super Bowl is in February. Their next answers are due sometime in January. So there's still a possibility that this will be an ongoing case. If they did not want Jay-Z to be public at Beyonce's Netflix appearance, do you not know that that's going to impact the Super Bowl as well? Where people are probably behind the scenes saying, what are we going to do about Jay-Z? What are we going to do about this? There were other reports, I don't know if you remember, about a month ago, where in meetings they were saying, I forget some company that he was a part of, but they were actually told the employees, do not mention his name, do not ask questions about him. They were having some kind of a layoffs, and it was like the employees were barred. They snuck and posted it online, but they were told, shh, don't say nothing. So I mean, we're seeing that the tide is changing for Jay-Z. It's really changing. But anyway, I hope I hit all the points that I was trying to make with the fact that this just ain't looking good for him. I don't think this is going to be the career-ending case, but I do think just the fact that this whole thing with Rymir is coming up again, that's going to be a problem. So it says, Judge Torres allowed Jane Doe to proceed with her lawsuit anonymously on Thursday. Now, legal experts say the judge, now this is it, y'all, right here, because I have been saying that, remember, I stated, y'all go back and look at my videos, I said if Rymir could not force him to take the DNA, he could file a lawsuit on behalf of his deceased mom, saying that she was raped as a minor, whatever, statutory rape, and then file a criminal case, just like these people are doing, on behalf of the decedent. That's something I thought. I talked to an attorney, and they told me absolutely could happen. You could sue for anything. Okay, so let's get that out here. But so he could actually have done a case like that, but he may not have to. And so it's saying Judge Torres also allowed Jane Doe to proceed with her lawsuit anonymously. Now legal experts say judge could force Jay-Z to give a DNA sample to prove he didn't father a child with a 16-year-old. And the 16-year-old would be Rymir, this young man here, his mother. I've been saying this. Now, I know it's Michael. He's not here right now. But we've been going back and forth about this. I said, I even got a video from 8 months ago saying eventually these skeletons are going to come up. The same way with Diddy. If Diddy had of settled with Cassie before Agnifilo said the same thing, a lot of this stuff will go away. It just takes one match to light the flame. And that's what's happening to Jay-Z right now. So Rymir Satterthwaite believes he might be Jay-Z's illegitimate son and that his mom was underage when she gave birth to him. Rymir says his mom was only 16 when she slept with Jay-Z. The age of consent is 17 in New York. A 16-year-old girl can't consent to relations with an adult in that state. Jay-Z has been accused of avoiding the DNA test because it would confirm long-standing rumors that he had a preference for virginal. Oh, I didn't even know that. I always said young girls, but they said virginal teenagers. Oh, that gets even more. Oh, salacious. Virginals? Y'all, I don't know if I don't know if YouTube is going to flag that, but they have made it even raunchier. Not just young girls, but if Jay-Z fathers a child with a minor, a jury is more likely to believe he would defile an underage girl. Those are the same effing rumors that were circling about R. Kelly. Now they creeping up to Jay-Z. These are things that have been talked about for years, right? It goes way back to when they was talking about him and Foxy, but everybody was like, ain't nothing like the one I got. No one could. You better. Like, what were you doing, Jay-Z? What were we doing? Because I was bopping to it too. But now, what's that saying? The chickens have come home to roost. That's exactly what's happening right here. Jay-Z has been accused of avoiding the DNA test because it would confirm the long-standing rumor. What makes it even more suspicious at this point, why don't you just take the test and prove everybody wrong? Now, this is no longer something, a little folklore for us to talk about on the YouTube or people in the Bronx or, us hip-hop heads that know from back in the day. This is mainstream now. This is mainstream. To be honest, I don't believe maybe in the last few years, before all of this Diddy stuff, people talked about it. This Rymir's been trying to get him to take this test for over a decade. So we all knew about it, but it was, it was just something you talk about, but it was not in mainstream media. Now has hit the fan. It's no more hiding it. Jay-Z, if you are not guilty, take it. He can't run from this no more. It says a trial could open the door to dozens of lawsuits filed by women who say they lost their virginity to Jay. What do we see? As I stated in prior videos as well, the blueprint. Diddy was the blueprint, right? When R. Kelly first got locked up, everybody was saying that R. Kelly was saying he was going to tell. There were other people who did the same thing. And the very first person whose name came up at that time was who? Jay-Z. And now we weren't even thinking about Diddy. Diddy wasn't even part of the conversation. It was Jay-Z. And now look, where are we today? How R. Kelly got locked up in 2019 or something? I forget. But Jay-Z's name has been floating around ever since then. They were thick as thieves. Just his affiliation with Diddy, his affiliation with R. Kelly. I don't know Russell Simmons. I don't know how close he was to Russell Simmons, but all of these dudes were doing the same thing. And now it's coming home to bite them all in the ass. How do you think Beyonce feels about all of this? Okay, I'm going back to the comments, you guys. Lulu says karma, it always comes back. Exactly. They thought that they could get away with this forever. No, you cannot. Yep, the chicken sure has come home to roost. And y'all, what's even worse is the fact that a lot of these mainstream media outlets, they have gone back. I don't have the articles on my screen. They have gone back and pulled up videos. Because remember, oh, this is crazy. Remember when Jay-Z and Beyonce were first dating? We didn't. It was rumored because back in the day, we didn't have the internet like we have now. So back in the day, it's like uh, everything would probably be local gossip, or you might read it, but it wasn't so instantaneous. So things might, rumors would come, die out, but if it was something, the artists were able to keep their personas very well what's that word? Where it was curated, because if you were a big celebrity like a Jay-Z, like the big media outlets just weren't going to print certain things about you because you were that person. Like, they wanted to keep a good relationship, so they wanted you to do interviews, so they just weren't going to say things that could ruin your reputation. But now it's no longer just controlled. People's image is no longer controlled by these media outlets, right? Or the Associated Press. You got YouTubers, you got Instagram, you got people that's going on, oh yeah, such and such, taking photos, publishing stuff. They don't need to get approval from the editor in chief to say you can publish this article or you can't. They just go on and type, and it's out there. It's out there, and it's nothing you can do about it. So it's a different time. Jay-Z, and unfortunately, I know a lot of people think, Beyonce is just as guilty. I personally still see, I don't think Beyonce is as innocent as I as I used to think that she was, but I think it's a shame that her career is being so impacted. There was an article that came out today stating that Beyonce really threw herself into this Netflix performance because she just didn't want to think about everything that's going on with Jay-Z. I get it. I watched a video, and they did it was like charting her career from when she was with Destiny Child, from when she was a little girl, actually, all the way up until I think about a couple of years ago. You can really see the change in Beyonce. She used to just talk openly and, just be kind of country girl, just talking flat, she was just herself. But I think over time, people started picking at the way she speaks. I think Beyonce is somewhat an introvert, even though she's an awesome entertainer. And so you could just see the change. And when she was first dating Jay-Z, they tried to downplay the if you go online and you look at these articles, they have lied about when they actually first met each other. Yeah, the whoever their PR people are, from when they first started dating, they actually kind of, I think Jay-Z said 1 year, Beyonce said something else, and they tried to clean it up. But a lot of that stuff is scrubbed. But recently, I think it was Daily Mail, they went back and they literally showed from when they first showed Jay-Z in a picture with Beyonce. So some of this stuff, they try to clean up everything and scrub the internet, but you can't get rid of everything. And so I think it was one of those Getty images, and it was, somebody found it. So it was Destiny's Child, and I don't know when they first started, if they were 16 or 17, but Jay-Z was kind of not with them, but he was in their sphere, like in a picture in the background. So she did a interview on one of those, one of those shows, and they were saying, well, when did you guys meet, or how did you meet? And she was young, and she was like, oh, well, we met doing music together and stuff like that. So I think early on, because I literally remember when they were a couple. I think early on, the reason they were so quiet about it is because they didn't want people to really know that Jay-Z may have messed with this girl when she was young. Let's see. Lulu says, why is he so scared to take the DNA? If you ain't been there, your name can't call. Exactly. You know why he's scared to take it, because that would be career, not only career. Somebody said, oh, it would be career ending. No, it wouldn't just be career ending. More than likely, given what he's facing now, it would be jail time, prison time. That's why. Yeah, you said birds of a feather flock together. Exactly. That's so true too. And guilty by association, because it's just because remember, Dame Dash was all over him like, man, bro, you know, why are you messing with R. Kelly doing music with him when you know what type of dude he is? He warned him, he asked him, stop, because of the whole Aaliyah thing. So he knew you friends with R. Kelly, and now these Diddy things are coming out. You had to know. Come on now. You said Solange tried to warn her. Yeah, I think a lot of people try to warn her. You know, I also did a video where about a couple weeks ago where people in her camp, and I'm assuming that, you know, it's people that, you know, business people that, you know, manage her, are telling her her brand is going to take a huge hit behind all of this. And it's already happening, right? You know, they were talking about the fact that she's going back to her name, Beyonce Knowles, and dropping the Carter. This is not a good look for her. I mean, and I just really feel like it's unfortunate because Beyonce has tried to have such a squeaky clean image, but you know, I mean, hell, when the devil's done with you, you know, when you make these agreements and stuff. And another thing about Beyonce that I feel like to some degree it's her fault, because Beyonce, in my opinion, was toying around with some of that demonic stuff. You know, it's like if you're not into that, don't even let nobody play on your name like that. Don't put no, I believe in God. So there, I'm not playing with nothing. There will be no question as to what my affiliation is. And like Jay-Z talking about that Arista Crossley, whatever that guy's name is, the devil man, you know, talking about do as thou wilt and stuff. No, we don't do as we will. We follow the word of the Lord. I mean, and I know everybody, some people are, you know, Muslim, and I respect all religions, but what I don't respect is no damn demonic stuff. So now y'all playing around with these witch people and these demonic worshipers. It was only a matter of time before it was gonna blow back in your face. What did you think you were doing? I mean, you know, you can't sit up there and play in God's face like that. Beyonce grew up Catholic. She went to Catholic school. You know better than that. I'm Catholic. I went to Catholic school. We're not even supposed to play with certain imagery. If you play with it, then you thus open yourself up for whatever happens. So she knew better. You know, I don't know how she allowed like some of the images and all of this stuff where she was talking about praying to these deities in her Lemonade album. Well, now look, people have been saying this for years that she was into the witchcraft. Girl, I don't know if you was into the witchcraft. You wasn't with Glenda the Good Witch, because this shit is real, you know? So it's just crazy. Oh yes, you guys, can you please hit the like buttons? And I don't know, when you do these verticals, they say you gotta tap, tap, tap. Hell, I don't know, but can you please do whatever it is? So it's just crazy. Jay-Z now, you guys, unfortunately, he might have to take that DNA test. And I'm gonna tell you what, even if because I don't know what, I think Rymir has a case in I forget the court that it's in at this point, but Rymir has an open case and there has not been a ruling, and he is saying that there have been people previously, attorneys and judges as well, who manipulated the case in front of on behalf of Jay-Z. If Rymir loses or he doesn't get the DNA, I'm saying that he needs to go and file a case. And I know that they said that his godmother was working, or she mentioned Busby. If it looks like Busby has favor with the judge right now, it looks like she is ruling in his favor. Busby can file that case on behalf of Rymir. So I feel like Rymir is still has an option if he fails on this one DNA test, that he can go another route and sue on behalf of his mother as a, you know, deceased person, that she was violated. To me, that's an option. I don't know. Listen, I just do my little my little litigation stuff. You know, I ain't the attorney, but I have some good legal strategies. But you guys, I want to say another thing too. So, like I said, I don't believe Jay-Z is necessarily guilty of that case. But I want y'all to now listen before I even play this video. Let me see. Let me go here and let me click on the video. This is from, this guy's name is well, the channel, let me give you the channel. The channel is IE Networks, okay? And this guy, when Tisa came out and was saying why the accuser, the fact that you get so many years because she was autistic and everything, there's a video of this person giving reasons as to debunking her theory. Now, this is my disclaimer. This is not a shot against Tisa from me. I don't got no issue with her. But what I want to play this video because this guy gives all counterpoints as to what Tisa was saying as to why she believes that the victim was correct. So anything negative he says about Tisa, that is not the view of Celebrity Scandalous. So I'm just gonna say that right now. Unfortunately, he is saying some derogatory things about Tisa. Tisa, those are not my thoughts about you, but I do like his legal the way he is countering and debunking what she said as to why I still believe that those inconsistencies, are could stand, and why I do think at some point that the case will be dismissed. But I feel like Alex Spiro pissed the judge off so much that she's like, well, we're gonna take this to the carpet. You just gonna have to go through the regular process. But so let's listen to this case. Now, if it's too low, then I'm just gonna end it because I've been having some audio issues, but I hope you guys can hear it. But this guy gave some really great points as to why what Tisa was saying, why it's just not it. No. So hold on, let me see. Let me try to set that up. And so again, it's called Tisa Tells 2003 Theory Exposed. Rock Nations will sue with receipts inside.
Opposing Tisa Tells. So with the help, shout out to the Bay Theory. And we've seen the B theory come up on a couple of pages that people are not giving her credit for. I've seen people using her threads on Ball Alert. I also saw Tasha K refer to one of her pages as well as some pages on TikTok. So a lot of people are getting content from my girl and not giving her credit. Well, what she did here was expose Tisa Tell for the fraud liar that she is. Now, if you don't know who Tisa Tell is, she is a popular YouTuber, about 300, 400,000 subscribers. She hates black men. She always claims that she was raised by black men, but she dates white men. She's probably, if she's married to a white man. So she can't stand.
Again, I can't substantiate that. I don't know those to be facts. This is this person's perspective. So, okay.
And black men, except for Kanye, and of course, Kanye is a man who doesn't like being black, so fits right in with her narrative. She hates all black men, like I said, except for Kanye, and she has been on as of late telling lies. First, she was telling lies about Sean Puffy Combs and Kim Porter. Now she hopped on the Jay-Z train, right? So now, as we all know recently, the Jay-Z accuser, was on NBC and pretty much got called out for her inconsistencies. So Tisa Tells decides to, let me cook, she says, let me cook. She comes back with a video after the whole world, after this 13-year-old girl at the time, now 38, got exposed to the whole world. Instead of Tisa coming back and saying, you know what, maybe I jumped the gun, maybe I was wrong about Jay-Z, maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt until all the facts come out. No, she goes back and makes her own video and comes back with this theory. And she says because of the girl's condition, it doesn't have to be exact, she says. It could be anywhere from 2000 to 2004. Now, if you know the story we're talking about, it was a young lady, 13 years of age at the time, now 38, saying that in the year 2000, she went to the Video Music Awards at the age of 13. And she said she wound up at an after party where Jay-Z, Diddy, and an unnamed female celebrity watched those two rape her, right? So after the lady got exposed for inconsistencies in her story, like I said, instead of Tisa Tells coming back and doing a video saying, hey, you know what? This just might not be what it is. This just might not be true because nothing's adding up. She comes back with a theory that says, oh, it could have been any time from 2000 to 2004. So now here's her video saying that, oh, it did happen, but it happened in 2003, and that's what the accuser meant. So we're gonna take.
Yeah, so I listened to Tisa's theory, and it was a great theory. She presents very well, as if she's a litigator herself. But what I didn't like is the fact that she was moving around the pieces to fit the accuser's story. It's like you have to be fact based. I mean, yes, you can be off, but just imagine if you go to court and you file something and you have allegations, and then you start tailoring your story changes, or we're supposed to fit the environment to match, or it just doesn't work that way.
Take a look at that, and then we're going to go to the Bay theory and debunk all of this stuff that Tisa is talking about. So let's top onto the video.
It doesn't need to be exact. It can be a range of years, up to 4 years.
Oh, this is Tisa.
So first of all, she says it doesn't need to be exact. You are calling a man, you are calling one of the most successful black men in music history a PDF. You're making claims that this woman's making claims that he art her. What do you mean it don't need to be exact? Oh yeah, it does. If you're gonna accuse me of R-ing you, it better be exact. You're gonna come and say, "Oh, you R'd me anytime from 2000 to 2004." No, it don't work like that, sis. Talk about it don't need to be exact. Oh yes, it does. You practically could ruin this man's life. What do you mean it doesn't need to be exact?
And when you think about what he's saying, just think about it from, let's say if it was your son being accused of something like that, or even if it was you being accused of something like that, you would want the details to be exact as possible, because historically black men, I mean, the judicial system was not on their side, so facts didn't even matter. If you were accused of doing something to somebody white, you were just done. So we want the facts to be as accurate as possible.
Not funny? 2000, 2003. This girl has mental, cognitive impairments. She also was a child. In the lawsuit, she says she is traumatized. She shakes. She does this. So we got the round driveway. We got everything she said happened, only it happened in 2003. We have Diddy macking to a 13-year-old on camera. So again,
so she says that we got Diddy macking on camera. It could be several years, she said. Right? She said they have the driveway. Now, and she's showing pictures. The lawsuit says she's traumatized. She shakes. They got the round driveway. They got Diddy macking to a 13-year-old. So shout out to the B theory. And this is what she did. She exposed Tisa Tells for the fraud that she is. So the B theory says, I was sent this video. The video was sent to me. I want to go ahead and debunk it since it's sitting at a few thousand views. Y'all are hell-bent on wanting to see someone be a R, adding, subtracting, and bending the story to make the allegations stick instead of just accepting that she lied. So she goes with, she says, 2001 was not at Radio City as the claim states, so there's a no. It was at the Metropolitan Opera House on September 6th. Security was reported to be tight. Nobody was getting anywhere near the building. Jay was with his people at that VMAs. Jay-Z went with Dame to 2 places as well. He went to J-Lo's party with Stuff Magazine at the Main Ray. So she then wants to go into 2000. She said anytime between 2000 and 2004. So the B theory goes into that. So she says, so y'all want to go with this idea that her allegations can be valid in the range of 4 years. Okay, cool. So 2000 to 2004. Only 2 VMAs could be possible because only 2 were in New York in that range. Okay, so she says, I'm not going to post a video. Go watch the video if you want to see her stupidity. In short, she claims that the liar is still telling the truth, but she meant to say the VMA show in 2003, not 2000. Okay, let's play and move the timeline. Now, she says here that Tisa Tells says it was 2003, and she calls her loud, dumb, and wrong. So we're going to take a look and listen to what Tisa Tells had to say about 2003.
There in 2003, but you hosted in 2003. Here goes. Not only did he attend, remember that after party they said they didn't exist? Did he host it? The 2003 MTV Movie Awards after party. There is 5,000 pictures all over the internet that not only were you there in 2003, but you hosted in 2003.
Let's listen to her again. Wait a minute. What party did he host, Tisa?
Did he host it? The 2003 MTV Movie Awards after party. There is 5,000.
The MTV Movie Awards after party. You nitwit. She went to the MTV Video Music Awards after party, and you're saying.
So that's exact. So what he's saying is Tisa was saying the MTV Video Music Awards, but there was an MTV Movie Awards as well. So which one was it, right? So that's the point that he's trying to make. She's getting the award ceremonies confused. 2003 MTV Movie Awards, which is way different than somebody going to a Video Music Awards.
Sitting here and you said you did a whole bunch of research and let you cook and it took you hours to do this. Well, you took hours to come up with a bunch of hogwash because you're dope. She wasn't at the she wasn't at the movie awards. She was at the Video Music Awards. Okay? So that's the first thing. Here goes the B theory. And to end that lie, the MTV Movie Awards 2003 were in LA, not New York. So this party was in LA, not New York. Saturday, May 31st, Jay-Z was not there. Beyonce went, but she was with her mom. The VMAs 2003 was August 28th. That was in Radio City again. So that's the year she wants to go with. Cool. Newsflash. If you change the year, you change her age. Remember, she said she was 13. So if you change the year, so she now have to change her age. But whatever. Let's look at 2003. Guess what? Diddy did host an after party until 6 a.m. Tisa, you might have something. But guess what? Jay-Z was not there. You know why? Because Jay-Z hosted his own party at his sports bar, the 4040. And here is some pictures from that. Here is the interest from that. The Bay Theory doing her thing, bringing the receipts.
So that's why I feel like just based on, so Tisa had some, it was a great presentation, but the B Theory, I mean, she's countering all of this stuff. And the way Jay-Z was so forceful coming forward saying, I wasn't there pretty much. Like, I know that this is not a fact. That's why I believe, given that they're going to be able to discredit and prove that he, wasn't there. And these may have been different events. And she can't then go back and change and say, I was at the Video Music Awards, but it was the MTV Movie Awards. Those are hugely two different types of venues, in my opinion. So that's why I think that eventually it's going to fall flat.
Bringing real receipts. All right. She said, because Jay-Z hosted his own after party at different locations, Sports Bar 4040 in Manhattan, sponsored by Remy Martin. They were hosting their own separate events. Not only was it not a house party, it's well documented with photos and witnesses inside the party with Access Hollywood. Diddy's party was at a burlesque venue called Showa Club in Midtown. Also, not a house party. It was very over the top and extra, not some bumfuck sitting in the living room. Interesting how she was not able to describe either party in either year. By the way, he was with Kim Porter that night. Jay was with Beyonce, staying at their own parties to host the different celebrities that were hopping around to each party. And yes, Jay-Z stayed until the very end of the VMAs. Here he is after the show, 11 p.m., doing an exit interview outside. So no, we didn't leave early like y'all suggested with the other one. Not all the faces there are clear, the woman said in the Friday follow-up interview, so I have made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes in identifying. She also couldn't describe anything about the party. The parties these nights were extremely over the top and lavish. All of them, there is reported to have been security absolutely everywhere. That's not something you can't describe because it wasn't average. So Tisa, even with the same location in a different year, her father states clearly as day he does not recall ever picking her up from anywhere near Radio City, which would be a 5-hour drive.
Now, let me just make this point because I didn't even think about this. Again, I just think this case is going to fall apart. As stated by, well, we know Michael, how he feels. Hey, Michael. Also, like Zimbabwe, like you said, case closed, no proof, and thrown out. So I do believe it's going to be thrown out. But somebody made a really good point when they said, what if, I don't believe, listen, this case is too shaky. But what if her father, because the father is saying he don't remember. I would remember if you a parent and you got to drive hours picking your child up in the wee hours, that's some issue with remember, because that was going to be a problem. And that's one of the key times in your life where you and the kid are going to have a real problem. You wouldn't, I don't think an average or real parent would forget that. A 5-hour drive picking your up in the middle of the night. Are you crazy? I clearly remember because we had some furniture moving up in the house, right? But somebody, I forget who made this argument. What if the father was on the tape? What if the father got to the dad, paid him off, and he's like, oh, I don't remember that. That's a possibility. I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Her father. All of her evidence, she restates, all of her evidence using the MTV Movie Awards in LA, that lying white girl was not at that event. So there's some people commenting saying, Tisa tells is another Jaguar right. Investigative journalist, yet she never gets anything right. Always taking L's. They are spiraling so bad. What they were hoping for didn't work. So now they're recreating the stories to fit their own narrative for likes and views. And the Beat Theory said, I never heard of this weirdo and hopefully never hear from her again. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me tell you something. Tisa tells, everybody is in the comments clowning her. She's trying to make it work because she hates black men that bad. It's not going to work, Tisa. The girl.
I don't know about her hating black men. I can't say that. So please, that is not Celebrity Scandalous saying that, Tisa. I don't know who you like or dislike. I don't care about that. Just here to look at the legal arguments and how he debunked it, this gentleman. Or Bait Theory, actually.
Girl lied. Accept it. The girl lied. And Jay-Z, he's on your ass, sis. Because now you put yourself on the Rock Nation radar. And you keep on Tisa tells lies. You keep on telling them tales, Tisa. And Alice Spear was going to send you a letter next. You're going to get that pretty little channel taken away. The one that feeds your family and puts food on the table for that white man you go home to every day. Keep it up. I already told y'all this girl was a fraud, man. She frauded people for clicks and views for Shanquella Robinson. She had that story all wrong, lied and said that, oh, she broke the story, that these people were arrested and these people were never arrested. She's lied constantly about the Kim Porter situation, about Diddy, about the Kardashians. She lies about everybody. And it's about time in 2025 these celebrities start checking back at these YouTubers. And I'm telling you, I'm going to do all I can to send everything to Alex. He's already been aware of it. And Tisa tells you are getting sued. Keep it up. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood for the IE Network. Everybody go into Tisa's comment section and just write exposed. It's your boy Heaven.
So basically, it sounds like he has something personal against Tisa. So that wasn't my aim, you know, but I just wanted to let you guys hear like about the different years and the different venues and how it seems almost impossible because she's gotten so many key details wrong based on what we're hearing now. Let me go back up to some of the comments. Um, So Zimbabwe says, you were right. Father can't remember. I am sorry for the true victims who might be overshadowed by this one apple. Yeah, I mean, because what's going to happen, and I'm predicting this, what's going to happen is, you know, if they discredit this one person and they throw it out, then that is going to shift the other Busby cases, and they're going to look at them like, yeah, and they're going to lose weight. Because if you can disprove one, I'm not saying you can disprove them all, but definitely the one with Diddy involved in this same case that he was named. So yeah, it's gonna make it hard for other people. Michael says he wants to cuss so bad at this BS. Lulu is saying for real, Zimbabwe. Hit the like button and thank you for joining tonight. And Michael says she is a lion, BIH. Yeah, so we just gotta wait and see what happens. I know this, I believe this case is gonna be thrown out. Just too many inconsistencies. And I think the next hearing is somewhere in January, mid-January. But I really think Spiro he made it back. I think this case could have been dismissed, or at least Jay-Z's name removed. Well, if you remove Jay-Z, then you got to dismiss the whole thing because she said he was right there with Diddy. So if you said Jay-Z wasn't there, then Diddy couldn't have been there either. But like a lot of people and the legal analysts are saying, if Spiro had not have come so hard and so aggressive, that what's her name, Annalise Torres, the judge, probably would have already dismissed the case. So he's going to have to take a different angle and kind of fall back so that, you know, he kind of gains favor again on behalf of Jay-Z. If not, it's probably just going to drag on and she's going to just let this loom over his head just to, you know, because he pissed her off. Lulu says, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate all of you. Yes, thank you for stopping by. Please hit that like button and please, I think I have another video I want to do later tonight. I'm going to try to do it. But anyway, y'all, thank you for coming, and I will see you on the next video. And thank you, Lulu. Bye.